Welcome to Money Making Conversation. I am your host, Rushion McDonald. I recognize that we all have different definitions of success. For some, it's a sizable paycheck. Mine is helping people wake up and inspiring them to accomplish their goals and live their very best life. These are my passions, and that's what I'm going to do for you. That's why I created Money Making Conversations. I want you to stop tripping over small challenges and prepare to rise above the bigger obstacles that life will present to you. That's what Money Making Conversations is all about. My next guest, he's here. Straight out of Houston, Texas. That's where I was born and raised. My next guest is Kenny Lloyd. Kenny Lloyd is CEO, president, and visionary of TAVA Lifestyle, a direct sales wellness company. TAVA Lifestyle is a global network marketing company offering health and wellness products, including nutritional supplements, energy enhancement, and more. Kenny started TAVA Lifestyle with the mission to change lives by helping individuals earn an additional income, all while living a healthy and active lifestyle. Please welcome to Money Making Conversation an HBCU man, Tennessee State University, Kenny Lloyd. Hey, Kenny, I got to kick that off, man, because I was doing your bio, and HBCUs are being so much love, man, and during this pandemic time. It's really long overdue, and because now people are starting to understand the value of HBCUs, even though they were started out of racism. We all know that's why they're in the southeast part of the country. Tell us about the TSU experience, which is Tennessee State University, because they got another TSU down in Houston called Texas Southern University. Tell us about TSU up there in Tennessee.
Well, let's talk about the real TSU. But you know what, man? Okay. Let me tell you something, man. I'm glad you asked me that question, because it is and I was talking to somebody about this the other day, man. Like, the HBCU experience, man, was an incredible experience. It was the best time of my life. And I say that because, of course, life is good now, but it was a time of my life, man, where the only responsibility I had was to get out of school.
Right.
You know, and look, man, it was a time where instructors really cared about you, man. If they saw you getting off track, you weren't just a number where they would expel you or suspend you. They pull you to the side like you were their son, or daughters, man. Right. And then the people that you meet, man, listen, I swear, man, I have friends all over the world that I swear when we were in school, you would have sworn that they weren't going to be worth a dime. But these people are, they are helping shape communities, cities, states, and the world. Man, so, man, I love it, man. When I go back to homecoming, there's nothing like it, man. So, man, I would tell anybody that it is a great experience, and I would never discount it when you're thinking about where you should go, because you're building friends that last a lifetime.
We know you're out of Detroit, so I know you know how to dress. If you're out of Detroit, that's kind of like part of the game plan. I've been up Detroit many times with Steve Harvey out there wearing our suits, wearing our gaiters, wearing our hats, all part of the structure. Being that you grew up in a community that is so urban, which is Detroit, talk about, when I look at I want to say the way you see social unrest today. And, we've been dealing with that all our life, Kenny. Both you and I, we're over 60. And so we've had our different layers of racism, but we never let our color stop our ambition, even though we know we have more value than they told us we had value. Talk about the challenges of going through life, growing up in a community or a city like Detroit, and the impact of what you're seeing happen today with racial unrest, young people finally realizing there is racism.
It's deep, man. That's a deep question. I will tell you, I think my biggest experience, because as you know, my father was the first African-American to play in the NBA, Hall of Fame. He coached the Detroit Pistons. And so I'm not going to say that we were insulated from racism, because, of course, athletes, they don't experience the same level of racism that ordinary people do, right? So I'm not going to say that because I lived in Detroit and because my father was a head coach or an athlete that I didn't experience. Detroit is a different culture. The city of Detroit in itself, I don't want to get political, but you did hear the president refer to Detroit, in a kind of not so savory way, okay?
Right.
Because he knew what the population was, And so it's the kind of town, man, that was insulated because the blacks in that city of Detroit, man, were some very sharp people, man. Like you take somebody like Coleman Young, man.
Right.
Man, Coleman, look, man, Coleman took that city to a whole nother level. You hear me? Like Coleman Young was a very strong Black man. For me, all I can do is speak from my perspective. You know, they used to say that it takes a village to raise a child, right?
Right.
Well, I was raised, man, I had the benefit of being raised because of my father and my mother, because my mother has a PhD, you know, and they worked hard, man, to put us in a right environment, right? You know, I don't make excuses for how I was raised, okay?
Right.
Now, the thing is that I wasn't raised in a village, man. I was raised in a kingdom because I had the benefit of being surrounded by Black men that were great husbands, great fathers.
Right.
They were great in their communities, man. They were politicians. They were attorneys, physicians, entertainers, you know, and they cared about giving back to the young Blacks. They really cared about it, man. It was embedded in them, man. Like they would give us lessons and they would instill upon us, and they had the right to even implement corporal punishment, man, to slap us or spank us or shake us up if we were disrespectful. But see, that doesn't exist anymore. You know why? Because there are not a lot of kings in our communities left, man, that care about the young men. Right. You know, these young men are being raised by women who are doing the best they can. Right. And they're doing a great job. Right. But we know that, I don't know if I'm opening up a door, man, but, you know, it's hard for a woman to raise a man. Right. You know, not to say that it can't be done, because I've seen it done. Right. But we know that a man's influence upon a young boy is very important, man. Right. You know, it's very important. They respond to us. You know, like my youngest son, I have two sons, man. Right. They respond to me a little differently than they respond to their mother. Absolutely. All right? Because I'm old school, right? Right. You know, I don't believe in it. You can call family services if you want, boy, but I tell you what, living with me is a lot easier than living in a foster care home. Okay, because you call the police on me, that's where you're going to be living. So, man, it was, they call it the spirit of Detroit. And the spirit was a prideful spirit of people, man, who really cared about each other. That I think they came from a generation, my parents' generation was a generation of people that were oppressed. And a lot of them were very poor, and they didn't have the means, and their parents made great sacrifices to make sure that they could begin the new generation of the family. And I think that they took great pride in that. And because they did, they made sure that we were exposed to the right things, and that they took an interest in us, and they didn't allow us to get off track without interceding, man. So it was a great time, a great era. It really is. Because I can relate that. Born in Fifth Ward, Houston, Texas, you know, inner city. You know, my father was a truck driver. Mom graduated from high school. And so 6 sisters, 2 brothers, 2-bedroom shotgun house is what I was born in. But that didn't stop me from seeing my goals. But because my father was in the house, he allowed me to stay focused, allowed me to move forward. And I'm not saying he was the best father in the world, but his physical male presence of consistency allowed me to be the man who I am today, and allowed to shape some things that I wanted to do as what I wanted to be as a man based on how he presented himself, whether it was good or bad. It gave me a model, Kenny. That's all you're saying. Giving you a male model in order to shape your male views as you come into manhood. And as you come into manhood today, we look at this pandemic and we look at marketing. Marketing is such key, and that's your gift. When I looked at your resume, you're just a gifted marketer. Where did that come from? You know, I think that I get a lot of my qualities from my father, but because my father was famous, you know, a lot of people would think Earl, but man, my father taught me how to be a man, right? But my mother taught me how to be a person, right? And both of them had great oratorical skills. They had great interpersonal skills, you know. And so I'm not really a great marketer. I'm a great relationship builder, right? And everything is about building relationships, because if you're a great salesperson, well, anybody can go get a sale, and that's a one-time thing. Right. But when you have the ability to build relationships, you have somebody that will buy from you every month versus one time and they're gone. You know, it's the difference between a great salesperson and a great relationship builder. Because, man, listen, everybody I know that has positioned themselves well financially in life, man, they understand the power of building relationships. They have great relationships. Even you said man, look, when this is all said and done, you and I, man, we're going to get together. We're gonna build a relationship.
Absolutely.
Because you understand the power of relationships.
Because here's the key thing about it. It wasn't even a financial get together. It was just a relationship. Because I always tell people, my decisions I make in life aren't always tied to money. And because they're tied to a relationship and opportunity. And I think you understand what I'm talking about. That opportunity, what builds out of that opportunity is what allows you to be a winner, put you in a winning situation. If you go in looking at how much money I can get out of this relationship, that may deter you or may cost you a long-term opportunity because you're looking for a short-term gain. And that is really what we're talking about here, Kenny, when you're talking about, okay, Rashawn, look, I want a relationship. And I said that very off cuff because I know you live in Houston. I like to eat. I'm sure you're a barbecue man just like me. You've been in Houston long enough to know there's the best Tex-Mex restaurants in the country is in Houston,
Absolutely.
Texas. So, when we come down there as soon as it's COVID, because, we ain't going nowhere in public in COVID. My wife ain't going nowhere. I don't know how your family handle it, Kenny, but my wife has not allowed me to take out in public since March.
I'm on lockdown, man. Listen, I have to sneak out, okay?
Right.
I have to sneak out, man, because of course you go crazy, but as predicted, it's become worse. I mean, they have been predicting even from March on that in the colder months, man, beginning October, it's going to get worse, and
it has become worse.
It has come to fruition that it has become worse and becoming it's worsening every day. So, my position is that you have to be careful, man. That's why, like in my business, man, of course, due to COVID, man, I lost my mother in March due to COVID.
Sorry about hearing that.
And I don't wish that on anybody. It's not just the death of a parent because it's life and death, man. My father used to always say, life and death is like a doorknob. Everybody gets a turn, right?
Right.
When your parents started reaching 85, 86, you kind of know, man, that their time is approaching. But with anybody that has a parent and they're in another city and their parent is diagnosed with COVID, you can't even go see them. You can't be with them. Right. It was difficult, man. I had to really solicit some political powers to be in Detroit, to even get a nurse to put on a hazmat suit, go in there and take a phone so I could say some things to my mother that I wanted to say, because everybody has some things they would love to whisper to a loved one's ear when they know that loved one's about to transition. And by the grace of God, man, it happened. Because it would have disturbed me, man. I don't know where I would be mentally if I wasn't able to do that. So, I thank God that he made that possible, that I could say some things to her. But they say that in death there's a birth, right? Right. And it's funny, man, because right as my mother passed, my business just took off, and that's what I say. I say that she became much bigger in spirit than she was ever for me on earth, and because of the nature of my business, man, business has been very good. So, man, I just chalk it up to, again, man, it's just a blessing.
So let's talk about the nature of your business. The COVID hit online. A lot of Black people were not able to handle the opportunities because they weren't technically savvy. Their brand wasn't able to benefit from the lockdown, from the lifestyle needs. Tell everybody basically what TAVA is all about.
Well, TAVA's direct sale, but most well known as a network marketing company, right? And we survived our first year, where a lot of network marketing companies don't survive 90 days, man. And we survived our first year and we thrived, man. We had an incredible year, man. A lot of people were blessed, and we market health and wellness products, but we allow people to operate a business within a business, right? So you can operate a home-based business. Like we have right now, in just a little over a year, over 40,000 reps all across the country, man, and in Canada, right? We're expanding. We have plans for international expansion, but it's a time and everything for that. But right now, a little 45,000, man. And these people are operating from their home, but essentially from their phone, because we have a phone app, man. We created just a way, for people to to take a little control over their life, man, because there are a lot of people that are not as fortunate as you.
Mm-hmm.
There are a lot of people that don't have careers. So there are a lot of people, man, that have jobs that keep us afloat, man. Like, imagine the countless bartenders, man, and waitresses that take care of us, man, and service us, man, who are out of work. Right. And make money doing that, take care of their families doing it, man. They have no jobs. Imagine a lot. I mean, so there's so many people. So the thing I love about what I do is that it gives people an opportunity to be the change that they've been seeking. And by that, I mean that they could really start their own home-based business, man, for $1,000 or less and have an opportunity to earn I have people in my company that, I mean, in the first year earned over $500,000, man. I have people that have earned $250,000. I have people that earn 50. So if you have people that earn 500,000,
right.
I have countless people that have earned an extra $1,000 a month, man. And that is much more powerful than the 1, 2s, or 3s that earn 500,000 in 1 year. To imagine what an extra $12,000 would do for your household budget, man. Extra money, man.
So how does it work? How does it work, Kenny?
That's a lot of money, man.
We talked about we talked about the lifestyle. We talked about the opportunity. How does it all work when you talk about networking?
Everybody has a network of people that they share. Imagine you go to the store and you buy a bottle of wine and that wine is good. What do? You like, man, I tried this bottle of wine and the difference is you don't get paid when you share the story, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like somebody asked me, we have a product, we have a coffee called Caprice.
Right.
And it's
a CBD, right?
And somebody asked me, I'm going to send you some and let you try it. Right?
Okay, cool. Mm-hmm.
The CBD infused, it's delicious, man. Somebody asked me in an interview, what's the difference between my coffee and the other coffees in the store? I said, well, the difference is my coffee pays. Okay? All right, those coffees, you have to pay to get those. My coffee, my coffee pays because, you don't have to just share it with somebody and say, man, it was good, I tasted it, and not make a dime. When you share my coffee, you make money.
Right.
And you're sharing something that's healthy.
Right.
So that's the difference, man. Everybody has a network of people that they're close to that they share things. Hey, did you see that movie? Man, that movie was a good movie. Bam. What you do? You just made somebody some money.
Right.
This tennis shoes, this car.
Right.
This
hamburger, this fried chicken, this sandwich, all that stuff. This
sandwich, man.
These
this
shoes.
New restaurant. All these things we do, we're making other people money. We do it unconsciously. Mm-hmm. So our position is, how about we work a little conscious? How about we be a little more conscious and about what we do, and let's start sharing some things that we're trying, and let's turn it into a business and share it with our friends and family and other people that they know and that they know, and let's monetize. And that's what we've been doing, man, very well.
Now, when I look at your background, you had a run with BET. And then the WNBA, Washington Mystics. And so I know because your father, NBA Hall of Famer, first black to be in the NBA. So you HBCU, you have you have a very layered life, and how has that helped you? Tell us about your experience with BET Network and then also the Washington Mystics of the WNBA.
Well, let me say this. My experience with BET was an incredible experience because it's the first time ever, man. We started off with a local network, and then next thing you know, BET picked it up, man, and we were just global with the show. Of course, it was our first experience, but, the show was not so good. Okay. We had 2 good seasons, though. We had 2 seasons, but, the show could have been a lot different. It was supposed to shine a positive light on network marketing, what we do, but it turned into something ugly. And I don't blame it on BET. I say that, and even the producers. It was the first project that they ever worked on, man. But it was an absolute pleasure working with BET, man. We went down to the BET Awards and they took care of us, man. They treated us. We walked the red. They didn't treat us like we were nothing, man. They gave us the red carpet experience. So
absolutely.
BET Look, man, you will never hear Kenny Lloyd say anything negative about you. You all took care of us when I had my moment, my 5 minutes of fame. I enjoyed it, every minute of it, man, and they made it special.
And now the Washington Mystics of WNBA.
Now, that's my brother. You have to do the interview with him because that was him working with the Mystics.
Oh, okay, cool. They put down here on your bio here, and I apologize because when I looked everything up, I didn't see it. I didn't see it rolling like that. So now let's go back to the Houston, Texas area, and let's talk about that whole experience of being in Houston. You said you've been there 15 years, right?
Yes.
Okay, now, what advantage is being in the Texas market? Because let's talk about Texas, because my corporation's in Texas. They don't tax you. We're talking money-making conversations now.
Yes.
There are some advantages to not taxing, to not paying taxes as a corporation and not having your business tax. Is that an asset for your brand?
Oh, it's an absolute asset to the brand. Look, man, when you are I'm still a small business, okay? I'm still a small business. I mean, we do a lot of numbers a month, man, but we're still a small business. And any break a small business can get, you have to capitalize on it. But what's important, and the biggest mistake that most small businesses make is that they think small when they start off. You have to look at your numbers. And when you see your numbers, man, when you start going from 2,000, like 10,000 in sales a month, 20. And when you see yourself going to 6 figures and heading towards 7,
right?
You better have some very competent, people on your team that are CPAs, man, that could guide you. Right. But I always tell people, whatever it is you achieve to be, start putting your team together before you get there, because if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready, man. Right. And when it happens, sometimes it's you one contract, man. You're one move, one swing of God's hands from going from 20,000 a month to $1 million in sales a month. And if you're not prepared, man, you're gonna sink, because it's not just about sales alone. It doesn't sustain you, man. It is being, it's your infrastructure. So it's important that you have the right people in place as you see your business start to grow, man. And don't be cheap. Okay, because you get what you pay for, all right?
Now, let's talk about that. And let's talk about relationship from the standpoint of personal. Like, my wife has always played a major role in my life. I always tell people, she was a very talented optometrist and allowed me to go to New York and build my brand, go to LA and build my brand. I'm in Atlanta. She's helping me build my brand now. I had to bring up because, your wife plays a prominent role in your bio. Okay. I'll be remiss, and I don't want to fall on her dark side, because I said I want to get with you. I don't want to have an interview with you and don't bring her up. Okay, Kenny? Talk about the power corporate relationship that you have with your wife, Kenny.
Well, let me say this, man. My wife is my business partner, and she and I both have a role, right? And the thing I say about my wife is that I wouldn't be on this interview with you if it was not for my wife, because I've had many more failures than I've had success. And each failure is a success if you don't duplicate it, because you learn through it, right? But I've had many more failures, and she never killed my spirit. Like, I'll never forget that in this last journey, she was working, and she would be going to work, and she'd be working on our reality. And our reality was that we were broke and we needed some money. Right. So she was going and she was earning some money, but she allowed me to work on our dream, right? Which was, work the business full time, right? Right. Now, it was a little hard, though, because, she would be like, did you make a sale today? I'm like, baby, I can't work under that kind of pressure, okay? Just let me do my thing. Right, but that she allowed me to do that. And, of course, there was ridicule. People knew me as Shantae's broke man and this and that. But, man, I didn't let any of that sway me, because I know broke man is just temporary, right? Right. But when our dream became our reality, then her reality changed, because she was able to do what she wants, when she wants, and how she wants. Okay. But she still chooses not to sit on her butt all day and live in the lap of luxury. Right. My wife is very active in our business, because she loves the people. She's a big part of the reason why we're here, because she interacts with people like, maybe, I don't know, I've been told I might come off like a shark sometime, man, but I just don't play, because being broke and climbing out of that hole, that broke hole, man, it's rough. And so you don't have time to nurture anybody and breastfeed people. And man, look, it's like, it's feast or famine out here.
Right.
You know, when you're trying to live your dream, man, when you're trying to come from broke to giving your family the life you want to give them, man, you got to be a gorilla.
Well,
okay?
let me just talk about that, Kenny, because, I'm mad at myself because we talked about it off air, and I should have started this conversation with it, because you and I both are over 60. And we all know that, especially black people, they tend to lock ages when they think they can. This is when I'm 40, I'm done. 50, I'm done. I'm trying to retire. And we all know there's no money waiting on you at 65 years of age. You and I both know that. Yeah. So what can, I remember I did an interview and it went viral when I was talking about I don't have an age limit. Age is a number that's necessary, and I hate people who I won't tell you how old I am. I don't know how you can be successful unless you get older. That's what's called experience. And if you have the right type of experience, you get paid for that value. Let's talk about you, because you said, Rushion, at 50, I cranked it back up. Let's talk about that. Not allowing age to stop you, Kenny.
No, man, I didn't let age, because I think my calling, like we all are put on this earth, man, with a purpose. And yes. Man, some of us die crying because we've never discovered our purpose, because we don't keep on moving forward. And for me, anybody who's known me all my life will tell you that I've always said I wanted to be a millionaire. And I didn't know how, what, but my goal was to be a millionaire.
Right.
And I said it took me 50 years to make it happen, and a lot of pain, right? Well, a lot of people my age, they're downsizing. They're looking for, what are those chairs? What are those chairs you pull a lever and they go? I don't even know what it is, because I don't. What's that chair?
They go up the stairs like those stairs. They let chair go up the stairs. Yeah, man. They just sit in it. They just sit in it.
I'm still telling people, and when I say this to you, I say it from my heart. I'm working on my jet. Right. I got 2 more things, man, on my vision board, man, that I got to complete, and that's my jet and my yacht. And I'm going to have them. My jet, I know when I'm going to have it because I have my expectation date, and I'm close. My yacht, I know when I'm going to have that, and I will have that before 65, right?
Right.
And so the point is, I'm 61 years old.
Right.
Man, look, I don't subscribe to that. When you get a certain age, you start wearing those sweaters, man, and sitting in the recliner. That's what you call it, the recliner chair, watching TV with the. Man, listen, if that's the life you choose,
right?
I don't knock it. Do your thing, but I want everybody to know that my life, I was reborn at, I was reborn at 50 years old. And I'm telling you, I'm 61, and I still have the energy and vibrance of a 40-year-old.
Right.
Why? Because my light is burning.
Right.
My light is still burning, man, because I still have work to do.
The really interesting, and I agree. I tell everybody, I didn't really, despite having success in my life, Kenny, it wasn't until I was 42 that I really accepted who I was and who I could be. And so age plays a role in all that. That's why I admire people like Barack Obama, who I call them visionaries. They knew early on he wanted to be president, And so like you said, Rushion, I remember in high school, Kenny, we didn't have enough money to barely buy our basketball shoes that we played in every day. But we used to cut out pictures of foreign cars, Porsches, Corvettes. And I used to always remember that. And guess what I drive today? Those type of cars. For some reason in my mind, even though I didn't know it, Kenny, I was instilling a value in me, an aspiration in me that this is what I wanted in my life. And even when my friends settled for, cars, I thought I just waited. I remember the very first car I bought was a foreign car, it was a Fiat X19, two-seater. And because I just knew that that's the game I wanted to play. And when you say yourself, Rushion, at 50, I remodeled and just started my career where I wanted to go. Now you're talking about you got goals all the way up to 65. And I know your goals beyond 65. But what I always want to tell people, when you think like you, Kenny, it impacts you physically as well. You walk different. You talk different. You dress different. Am I right?
Absolutely. 100%, man. I mean, everything about me, I just work through things, man, because I know what's waiting.
Well, Kenny, I want to let you go. It's TAVA Lifestyle. Off air, I want to get your phone number from you because I'm, like I said, I got a home down in Houston, Texas. I live, my headquarters down in Atlanta. Let you know when you get that plane, that jet, you know what I'm saying? You know, I'm not gonna ask you what size you getting there. What's your vision board?
I can't put it out there. I don't want to jinx it.
Okay. Because I've been on some jets now. I've been on some jets, Kenny.
Let me say this to you. When I get it, you come here. Can you say Vegas?
Yes. And you know I got the relationships, baby, in Vegas. I got the relationship. Hey, Kenny, man, please, brother, stay blessed. And again, man, we're friends now. We're a relationship, brother. Hey, man, and I want to tell everybody about the TAVA Lifestyle, the networking.
You've done, man, and everything that you're doing, man, because it's about uplifting people, man. And look, man, you've had a lot of success, man. And I'm telling you, man, I'm very honored, man, to be a part of this today. So thank you very much.
Thank you, my brother. We talk soon, man. If you want to hear more Money Making Conversation interviews, please go to moneymakingconversation.com. I'm Rushion McDonald. I'm your host.